Hey guys, I know it's been a little while since I made a video. This one I promise I'm not going to cry. I know the last few that I have. It's just been a bit hard not to, considering everything that's been going on. I think you're going to hear me say a lot. This isn't exactly something I do scripted, if you haven't figured out from other videos. It's something that I wanted to talk about. I've been waiting to talk about it on the channel because I was still getting stuff together. But something that a lot of people told me after I lost Alex is that I needed to try and take something positive out of the situation. And I've done a couple of things, such as going to the support group that I go to, and I can't remember if I've talked about that in any of my videos, but I do go to a support group. If you haven't heard about the Compassionate Friends, I do suggest that if you've had a miscarriage or a stillbirth, that you go and attend a meeting. I mean, don't go right away if you don't want to, but know that if you go to the group meetings, that they don't force you to talk. If you go to your first couple meetings and you don't say a word, that's perfectly fine. And everything that is talked about there is confidential. So it's an open space for people like you who understand entirely what you're going through, who aren't going to look at you weird, who aren't going to make you feel like you should be over it by now. I mean, you're not going to have to deal with that. So I do suggest going if you haven't gone already, if you've experienced a miscarriage or a stillbirth, or the loss of a child at all. The Compassionate Friends group is for the loss of a child in any way. I mean, I've got somebody in my group, they lost their son who was in the military. There's been other people who've lost children during pregnancy, women who've lost kids to suicide. I mean, everything ranges. So it's a safe place. I do suggest going. Anyways, the good thing that I decided to do after losing my son is something that I've seen a few other people do on the internet, and you know, it kind of varies for what the different mission statements are, but I've seen a lot of charities start up. There's been a bunch of different ones that I've seen, and a bunch that I really like. Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep started out from a woman who lost her baby, and she wanted to make a difference. And I'll tell you what, that group makes a huge difference. If you haven't seen what they did for me, my pictures of me, my husband, and my son, then I do have a video that's a tribute video to my baby boy, if you would like to go and watch that. But there's also Molly Bears, which is an amazing group. They make weighted bears that weigh the same as your baby, your child, when you lost them, whether it was during pregnancy or after pregnancy up to 12 months of age. They make them weigh the same. They customize them so that you have something that can almost feel like them. And I've been thinking about getting a bear myself, but I haven't had a chance yet. My group, though, was inspired by a girl at my group. She had a miscarriage fairly early on. It was in the first part of her first trimester, and she had to have a D&C. And you know, my first group meeting, I talked about everything I got with Alex from my hospital. I got a blanket, I got keepsake booties, I got a necklace. I would have gotten footprints if Alex's skin would have been more solid. There were so many things that I got to go home with, so many things that I got to have in memory of him. But she didn't get anything. She got nothing from the hospital, and that made me so angry, like so unbelievably pissed off. And there's another group, Teeny Tears Bereavement Diapers, that I really like. They make tiny little cloth diapers and hats and blankets, and they make kits, and they send them to hospitals that they're signed up with. And that's how they help provide stuff for bereaved moms and dads to go home with. I wanted to do something like that for my friend. So I contacted Teeny Tears, and they sent me a diaper, and they were actually absolutely amazing. They sent me one too. And that just, you don't even know how I reacted when there was 2 diapers in that package. But I crocheted a blanket for her. I followed the Teeny Tears Bereavement Diapers page on how to make no-sew hats. I made her a hat along with a whole bunch of other ones. and I painted a concept painting for her since she wasn't far enough along to get pictures like I did with Alex. And I gave it all to her because I wanted her to have something tangible, something that said my baby was here. That I didn't just lose a pregnancy, I lost my son. And she absolutely loved it. But after I did it for her, and I still had all these hats left, because what it is, it's orthopedic stock net. It's the stuff that they put underneath casts so that your arm doesn't get rubbed raw and it helps with sweat and all that. You just fold it a particular way and you add little adornments to it and you have a hat. And I had so many of them left and I'm like, my hospital can't be the only one that did that. My in-town hospital. I went to a hospital outside of where I live. So my hospital can't be the only one that does that. I would hope anyways. Because if not, then my hospital is a lone jackass. But I figured there have to be other women who have made it home with nothing. Because the hospital just thinks, oh, if you have to have a D&C, then it's not a baby. It's not something that you can get attached to. But little do they know that the second you get pregnant, you get attached to that baby. That's not a dream. That it's a living, moving being in you, and you get attached. That's your baby. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's your baby. It doesn't matter how far along you are. And you deserve to have that recognized. You deserve to have people realize that your baby was there. It's like I'm absolutely obsessed with keeping every piece of paper with Alex's name on it because I want there to be documentation that my son was here. My son was alive. Because I didn't get a death certificate. I wasn't far along. I wasn't far enough along to get a death certificate for Alex. I just want there to be something. And, at least I have pictures. I have something to look at. But the women out there who don't have hospitals that care, who want to make sure that these women are provided with something tangible so that people don't forget, because a lot of people don't realize that that's one of your big fears when you lose a baby. That people will forget that they existed. That's harder to do when the baby's been around for a while, like if a 2-year-old dies. I mean, people might slowly stop talking about your child, but they're going to still remember them. Alex, though, was in me. He was still growing inside me. The people who remember him, for the most part, are me, my husband, and my parents. But my parents barely even have that connection because they didn't get to meet him. So that's the one thing I'm always scared of, is that Alex will just disappear into oblivion. And I have stuff, so I can't even imagine what that's like for mothers and fathers who got nothing. That just, their baby was gone, and there's no trace that they were here. But the group's called Something to Hold, because that's the way, I couldn't think of anyone, like, I want to send people home with something to hold, and now I'm like, that's the name. That's the name I'm doing. And what it is if you, or somebody you know, has had a miscarriage, not a stillbirth. I mean, stillbirths are just as tragic as miscarriages. But the thing is that stillbirths are generally treated more as the loss of a baby, not the loss of a pregnancy. And generally people who have stillbirths get sent home with stuff. It's miscarriages that a lot of times don't get sent home with anything. So that's why I say miscarriages. So if you or somebody you know has had a miscarriage, please tell them to go to Facebook, find my page, find Something to Hold, send me a message, and I will send them a package free of charge. I pay for shipping and everything, that will have various different items in it, and I will try to customize it as much as I possibly can. It's going to have, at the very least right now, a hat and some sort of concept art, and I've got friends making crochet blankets, and I've actually got an artist friend who's making more paintings. So honestly, unless they want something like right now, I would suggest waiting potentially another like couple of months and I'll have different concept art. And I've also got friends making some of those tiny diapers that Teeny Tears makes. They sent me the pattern. So that's what I did as a positive thing for Alex, because nobody should feel like their child's going to disappear. So like I said, and you know, honestly though, if you go to a hospital and you have a stillbirth and they don't send you home with anything, you can contact me too. I mean, seriously, I don't mind. Like, it's not an exclusive thing. Like I said, the only reason I said miscarriages is because typically stillbirths are treated more like infants. So, like I said, you or somebody you know, contact me. Because we all deserve to have something tangible of our children. We all deserve to have them be remembered. We all deserve to have something to stick up on a shelf and say, my baby. My baby was here. So if you'd like something to hold, please get on Facebook and contact me, and I'll send you something. You guys have a fantastic night. Hopefully I will have some more videos out soon.